And hey, Pete, we're live.
Woo! What's up, everybody?
Hey, we can't see Pete right now, but it's more important that we can hear his knowledge, hear his advice, than it is to see him. So, Pete,
And here's some of the craziness. So it's we hit some extra traffic in Western Pennsylvania today, making our way back home, and I'm like, I'm not going to let David go fly solo. That's not what friends do. So we are safely stopped, not on the road, and making our way back home. Got to give a happy birthday shout out to Mama Shram today.
oh yeah,
She
happy
David
birthday!
David, do you believe that she turned 27 again? She just keeps doing it year after year after year. I don't know
Right?
how but it's amazing. It's remarkable.
I love it. I love it. Well, yes, happy birthday, Pete's mom there. So I think we're going to roast some profiles today. So everybody, um, if you would like your LinkedIn profile roasted. Now, hey, if your LinkedIn profile is pretty solid already, and I know some of the people that I'm looking at the comments right now, some of you may want your LinkedIn profile roasted, but you might not need it. Let's try to save it for the people that might need some love. Pete, what's
And so David, yeah, let's talk about what goes into a roast, because we don't want anybody to be nervous or kind of scared about this. This is an opportunity for us to all learn, grow, develop together, right?
yeah?
So this is roasted with love.
Oh
I
yeah,
think we might be able to have some fun with that one. But even the last time we did this, I learned a couple of new things from you, and it's a way for us to collaboratively. So even if your profile's not up on the screen, there are other ways to be like, oh, I can try that out on my side, right? And we'll make sure that if you say yes, then make sure you're able to be active in the comments down there, so that we can indeed have a little bit of back and forth, as we iterate on this a bit together. So if you're ready, willing, able, then we would love to grow together.
100%. Now, we already got some people that are saying, hey, roast mine. And guess what? So we will. Let me just make sure. Yeah, we got two victims. I mean, two people that are willing to.
Tributes. They volunteer as tribute.
As tribute, except, you don't have to worry about anything but learning. You don't have to worry about, any getting thrown in a cage with some lions or anything like that. Pete and I are going to be very gentle. So let me throw these up here, and let me share my screen. All right, Pete. So let's see here.
I see Victoria. I don't
Whoops.
see Victoria.
Wrong view. Remove. Whoops. Let me.
Hey, did you watch some football on Saturday, David?
Yeah, I watched my University of Washington Huskies beat up on the Idaho um, uh, Broncos, and they whomped them. Whomped them.
Yeah.
Whomped them. How about you?
Galloped all over them, perhaps. Penn
Yeah.
State had a good win, and
Oh,
I think some of the talk of this season is going to be, what's going on with, was it Neon Dion at Colorado, and see what happens to the Buffs this season. So if people put into the chat, if you watched any college football, or if you watched any sports, there's some tennis going on, there's some other things going on. Always love seeing. We talked about zucchini last week. Why not talk about some sports things this week, right?
100%. Yeah, no, I'm so looking forward to the. I just want to see which view is going to be better. All right, this one will be. No, looking forward to the NFL starting in a couple days and watching my Seahawks on Sunday. But yes, my wife knows she kind of loses me on part of Sundays and maybe some Saturdays throughout the fall while football's on. So we have Victoria up on this screen, Pete. So,
Yeah.
and you're able to see that, Pete?
Yeah, Victoria, hailing from the the western side of the country, up in the state of Washington, as we say it here in Pittsburgh,
Oh
but
my
others
God.
would likely pronounce it Washington. I don't see an R on the screen.
Not yet. There isn't. And Vancouver, Washington is only about just a few miles north of Portland, and she's only about 4 hour drive away from me. So let's take a look at her profile, and it says on her LinkedIn banner, it's your life to edit. So I kind of like that. Maybe she does some type of writing, and if we look at her headline, it does say that. So the two kind of I kind of like that. And in her headline, she's got senior writer. I think it does a pretty good job. Victoria, I think you did a pretty good job of maximizing all 240 characters there, because I see some things kind of squished together there. So great job there. She's using a lot of different hashtags in her headline. What do you think about that, Pete?
Yeah, so the interesting thing that I see here, I want to focus in on like the first 70 characters of the headline, right? Is
Yeah.
that something that's going to grab me? I also want to think about, are there any, emojis in here? And I don't know that emojis are like a good thing or a terrible thing. I think some people wield them well, and others leave some room for improvement. So I don't know that that's really a helpful tip or point, but I'm just kind of sharing that use them as you wish. So I see this and I say, okay, I really like the banner. I see the smile. I get an idea who you are in your picture there. We see your name, but if we take a look at what this headline may show, whenever you're commenting or something else, I see that, oh, look at this. Victoria commented on a post. I see that this individual is a senior writer, content comms manager, public speaker, life professional, mindset coaching. It's really jumbled in. And I know that you're trying to do a whole lot there. And
Yeah.
I don't blame you. And I've definitely been there. Then we get into hashtag WMH. And I'm like, I don't know what WMH is. So maybe this person's for me, maybe it's not for me. But I wonder if there's a more kind of grab that you could do in those first couple of words, right? The most precious real estate in your headline of those first 70-ish characters that pop up. Now, to answer your actual question, David, on the hashtags, I'm actually not so sure if those help or don't help. And I would also wonder if there's some overwhelm, because you have the hashtags right below, right? Talks about
Sure.
those couple of pieces right there. So maybe it's like double SEO. Maybe it's a little bit confusing on that piece. So I'd kind of punt the hashtag. I kind of like leave the hashtags in the talks about pieces, put them in the first three in each of your posts, have them on some other places, have them on some of maybe your top three skills, right, that you might have on here. But what's your take on the hashtags in the headline?
Yeah, to be honest, first time I've ever seen it. I would like to more, hear more maybe in the headline of like who you serve and how do you serve them, right? So again, think of your typical customer comes to you for what, problems or what you do, again, what makes you, what makes you, easier to deal with that client. Again, maybe who do you serve and how you serve them, because the headline, we can be found by others by what we put there. I think a better use is making sure that you're using some of those hashtags in your posts.
Mm-hmm.
But in the headline, can you share with us maybe, how you do what you do, what you serve, who you serve or whatever. And Victoria, you're welcome to kind of maybe even in the comments, maybe share with us if you want a little bit about who you serve and, how you serve them. And we can kind of reevaluate that.
Yeah, and the three questions, David, that I like to try and get answered here with this shot above the fold on your profile, right? Number one, who do you want to visit this, right? What do you want them to think, and what do you want them to do? And numbers 2 and 3 are really the important ones, and you hit on that, right? Talking about who you help, how you help them, and what's unique about you and the way you do things. And that's the opportunity. Somebody might come here for 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds if you're lucky, right? And the goal is to scroll down a little bit and see the about page. So I just kind of think through that. There you go. Wearer of many hats. There's the hashtag WMH. And I think this is where we can add some more of the hashtags at the end of the about section. I believe you have 5,000 characters to work with there, and I don't think that all of the 5,000 are in there. Top skills are in there. That's pretty nice. Maybe you even have a link to a website. David, you all right if we have a link to outside of LinkedIn in our about section?
Oh, 100%. Or we
Yeah.
can add it where it shows up right underneath our
Yep.
city and state. And it has that hyperlink right there as well. But yeah, I'm, you can have a little call to action at the bottom of your about
Oh, yeah.
section. Email, get on my calendar, website, all the above. Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, yeah. And I think there's some really good stuff in this about section that maybe condensed would provide, some additional benefits in that headline.
I'm going to put on my Corey hat for a second here and say, what if you put this into ChatGPT and said, hey, here's what I'm trying to get people to do. Here's what I'm trying to get people to think. And here's kind of my current headline. I want the first 70 characters to be something that's inclusive. Here's some more information about me. Please give me 10 options and see what it says there. Right.
100%. Yeah. ChatGPT has become my friend daily, not just on social media, but for random things.
Oh,
I
yeah.
cannot believe the number of uses that it's provided me over the past couple months since I've been really using it actively.
Victoria, any other thoughts or questions or comments, or any other questions from the rest of the group as we see what's on here right now?
She's putting some, what do you recommend for about on full transition from IT to publishing and writing? Oh, wait a minute. My goal is to serve the masses as much as possible and make an impact. Yeah, but I know there's maybe a typical client avatar or whatever. So we can't really, we can't be that vague, I guess.
I think we can get there, right? So we can get there, and you can keep all that. That's perfectly fine. And I just challenge to say, how might you say, where do you start, right? So rather than, because I suffer from that as well, right? I want to help anybody and everybody that is, curious, motivated minds, and I get super excited about it. But it's like, okay, you can't help everybody at once, so maybe you ask the question of where do you start, right? And just kind of focus down, so that you can say, hey, I can talk to this kind of person. Is it an industry? Is it a title? Is it years of experience? Is it geographical location? And then find 10 of those people. And whenever you find those 10 people that are like, oh my gosh, yes, this is amazing, slam dunk, 10 for 10. Maybe if it's even 8 out of 10, right? This is the person I want. Then you found something, product market fit, maybe even call it service market fit, right? But the same concept of when you talk to this kind of an individual, they understand what you do, they need what you do, and ideally, right, they're willing and able to pay for what you do, because you might have 2 of those 3, but if they're not willing and able to pay, then maybe that's somebody you want to do business with in the future. Maybe it's not your ideal customer profile. ICP is one of my mentors, Frank likes to call it.
Sure. No. All right. Well, hey, we should probably move on to get to somebody else right now, right?
Let's roll. Thanks,
All right.
Victoria.
Yeah. No. Thank you. And feel free to watch the rest and see what we might be providing somebody else, because yes, you can learn so much just by seeing what we're going to talk about with the next victim. Again.
I thought we were going with tribute.
Tribute. That's right.
All
All
right,
right.
there we go.
So
Patricia.
I love, look, who doesn't love, seeing dogs, seeing animals, knowing a little bit about us. Sometimes my French bulldogs make an appearance on a video or an event, or, on a photo on LinkedIn. But we really need this banner to help people. It's kind of like that billboard driving down the road. We want to make sure that this banner helps people better understand what we do, maybe who we do it for. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I see this and I'm like, okay, Patricia loves dogs, and maybe that's her business is working with dogs, and maybe it's dog beds is her business.
Sure.
Maybe it's dog sitting, dog grooming, something along that, because I know that precious real estate is up there for a reason, and it's kind of going through that. And then I'd start to go down through and say, like, okay, design and tread and direction. Okay, is that for dog beds maybe? Let's see a little bit more. Product development and sourcing management. Okay, apparel and home furnishings, pet CPG. Looks like you have a little bit more in your 200 and was it 240 characters there.
Yes.
So there's a little bit more that maybe could be used. Could you or should you spell out the CPG? Is that are the first 70 characters grabbing, enough to be like, oh, let me learn more. Nice work on the check out my portfolio piece, right? That's pretty cool.
Love it.
Also, I wanted to give a shout out to Victoria on the last one, 10,000 followers. Great job getting over that milestone there. Also, great job. You've watched David's videos on the verification with the government ID. But I'm still kind of wondering, like, who do you help, right? Do you do something that is for me? Right. I don't really know yet. Maybe we share that we both love dogs, right? Oh, it's a very cute puppy. Is that your dog? Does that matter? And I wonder if there's an opportunity to perhaps add a couple of words, to that banner at the top to help me understand a little bit more.
Yeah, let's just briefly look, because hey, I see a dog in a bed, so maybe, just maybe, let's just look at work experience here. I see some more dogs and some other things. So yes, maybe what she does is related to the pet industry, which is perfect. But then let's, like you had said, Pete, maybe it's just overlaying some verbiage here, not a lot. And that verbiage needs to be big because people are looking on smaller devices, tablets, cell phones. So we want that verbiage big, but then it really puts everything together. Then they have a better understanding of why you're sharing this. And then again, everything makes sense. You got plenty of room here, plenty of white space, maybe even some room for some things right there. So as we continue to look at your profile, we're kind of putting the pieces together, but somebody is only going to take maybe 5 or 7 seconds to look at your LinkedIn profile to determine whether or not they're going to message you or trying to figure out what you do. We have to make it really, really easy for them to better understand what we do.
A couple of the other things, I don't see the use of the hashtags in here. Right, that might be a thing to think about. Some of the top skills. What do you say? Let's go down to the about section and see what we can deduce, or maybe induce. I use those. I think it's deduce, but I get those too. Hi, I'm Patricia. Okay, nice to meet you. I already knew your name from up above, so thanks for the reminder here. I create wonderful things that boost the bottom line. Okay, so is that maybe me as a company here? I'm a performance-driven product expert with over 20 years of international business experience in product trend design development and global sourcing special. Okay. CPG space. So there's that CPG again. And if I knew what CPG was, then maybe that would be more helpful in this instance. What I like to see in the about section, David, is something that, again, kind of like the first 70 characters of the headline. Here, I like to see another like interesting, like what's going to grab me in, right? Why should I keep on reading, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a question, maybe it's a statistic, maybe it's a, I don't know, something else. But it's again, how do you set yourself apart? Because I can probably see some more of this about things if I some of these kinds of details that you have up towards the top as I scroll through some of your experiences below. But I do like the fact that you're like listing out, okay, I can do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. So I'm not searching as much as far as long, for some of those answers, if this is a good fit on there. Again, is there a link down? Yep. So nice work down at the bottom. We have the contact information, this phone number. Nice. What are your thoughts, David?
Yeah, again, we just have to make it really easy. I think in the about section like this, people are coming to your profile to learn more about you. What if you took this approach, Patricia? I want you to write down like what you solve and then like how do you solve it? So, and I'm just going to give an example. Do your departments or teams struggle with X implementing Y question mark? And then give an answer like you're almost like an interview answer of how you implement those things. Because regardless of why somebody's coming here, now they understand it's not about a million people coming to your profile, but when the right people come here, they quickly understand like what you solve and like how do you solve it, especially if you're a job seeker. That's like a must, because now they're getting more insight. So for you, sharing this is a good idea. What you shared, yes, but can you start off first explaining like what you solve and how do you solve it? And we all do this. We're all subject matter experts about various things when it comes to what we do for a living. Well, why not share a little bit of that? Because then again, when the right people show up, they understand like
Do you
what needs
think
to happen.
CPG is consumer pet goods?
That could be. That could be. And maybe in the comments, Patricia can share that. And I know Patricia asked, how do you show hashtags? Hey, Patricia, do me a favor. Just DM me, because we're going to try to do as many profiles as we can. DM me and I'll share some print screens and stuff for you to give you some tips on that. But if we scroll down just briefly, yeah, I don't know if we'll know the answer to that, Pete, in here, but you could be
Yeah.
right.
Let's keep going. A lot of good experience here, and yeah, let's keep rolling.
Okay. We want to do another person? I have one.
Let's do it.
All right.
And also, please, Patricia and Victoria, please share in the comments, was that helpful? What other questions you have? Like David said, shoot us, a DM together, and we can go deeper. Again, one of the things that we said as we go through some of these is that we want to be collaborative and supportive, right? So we try and say, hey, here's some opportunities for improvement. Our opinion, right, which is not always the best thing, not always, final and the end all be all.
Sure.
But please, ask those follow-on questions. Do not, stop short there. All right, I see Marilyn on the screen.
Yeah. Let me take this first one. Marilyn, can you do me a favor? Flip your photo the other way. If you're having issues doing it, just say, and I'll do it for you. But what if your eyes were looking the other way? I mean, and you're almost straight on. You just got a little bit of, but your eyes are kind of going this way, and that's taking people, believe it or not, that's taking people off this way. Flip that photo, and I almost guarantee it's money back guarantee, because, well, you'll get your money back because I'm not charging
Hey,
you.
free advice is worth every penny you pay for it.
But seriously, flip that photo, put it back up there, and you'll see, maybe you'll see a good difference. But I love not only the color here, but the color that she, chose for this. And that's great. What tips you got for the banner here, Pete?
some of the things that you've taught me over the last, we're probably coming up on our 1 year of actually knowing each other, David. So we'll have to have a friend anniversary party at some point soon. But I see Marilyn Santos, and I scroll down. I'm like, oh, okay, so her name is Marilyn Santos. All right. So I'm wondering if the entrepreneur, right, the business is the brand of Marilyn Santos, and I see there's some strategic marketing. I wonder if Marilyn Santos is needed there, or if you could do strategic marketing and then maybe 3 bullet points of what kind of strategic marketing, right? And it's kind of like, okay, so I see like this kind of strategic marketing, perhaps. And then I get into the about section, those first 70 characters. Strategic, general, and multicultural marketing with 15 plus years of experience designing and executing programs okay. Um, what do you want me to do from here? Is this for an organization? Is this, I have some follow-on questions there. Contact info is there. There's no external link. There's no hashtags here. So I wonder if there's some opportunity to incorporate that. I see where you went to school, impressive, right? Again, I never knew that picture, that tip about the picture and where the face is facing. So that's a good learning one for me, David. Nice job there. Those are the initial thoughts I have.
Yeah, no. Again, yeah, we already know your name here. So again, perfect strategic marketing, and then put some bullet points because what type of strategic marketing, right? So that was perfect. And again, you got a lot of space here. I love the vision. I love the colors. You did a fantastic job. Now, our first person up on stage had that 10-second audio by their name. The last two have not. Just remember, everybody, on the LinkedIn mobile app, you can add a 10-second audio of yourself. Now, I believe you have to have 150 followers in order to activate that. If still holds true, then it does. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. But it'll say your name pronunciation. You have 10 seconds. Give us your mini elevator pitch, what you're passionate about. And because a small percentage of people on LinkedIn use it, it makes you more unique. It's a must for everybody to do, in my opinion.
So before we scroll down, who do you think, let's answer those questions, right? Who should be here looking at this? What do you want them to think, and what do you want them to do? So I think somebody that's looking for strategic marketing should be here. I don't know if I'm, an owner of a company, what kind of industry I should be in, and I'm not exactly sure what I should be doing from here. Maybe I should, take my next, 10 seconds and scroll down a little bit, further.
Whoops. Yeah. Let me scroll down here. We'll click on see more. Let's look at that about section.
Now, for the about section, how long do you think that ought to be? If we have, a couple thousand characters to work with, should we try and fill up more, David? Is that all right?
Well, yes. Just remember, they need to be short paragraphs because visually it'll be easier for the person to, to review. And listen, as long as the real big value is within the first, 3 or 4 paragraphs, then you can add more, yes, but just know that somebody might not, read it all, right? In fact, most people won't. They'll probably skim it over. So we really want that value at the top. That first paragraph for sure, because that's what they see, and until they click see more. But 3 or 4 paragraphs, but that has to really deliver the really good stuff. And maybe then the rest. But I've seen people fill it up, and it still looks presentable. You can go ahead and max it out, but again, make sure that value is really within the first 3 or 4 paragraphs.
Head of local marketing and community manager. Okay, now I'm seeing it down here until June. Oh, interesting. So I wonder if there's a full, or where are you working right now? I didn't see an open to work earlier up above. I also noticed that Marilyn's posting a little bit more frequently. I saw some of that up above. So nice job there. And so I wonder, let's see. Okay, so I don't see a present experience right now. So I wonder if that would, help us understand a little bit more too.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, are you doing something kind of on your own or whatever? And hey, and just FYI, everybody, if you are a freelancer, you own your own, small business, big business, whatever, just remember you can create a LinkedIn business page. And I think we might have touched that on that last week.
You
But
bet.
you can add a LinkedIn business page, and it is the world's easiest thing to do. And just to make this real easy, all you're going to do is go to this for business tab, you click it, and then you scroll down to the bottom, create a company page. It is beyond easy. And then you can, obviously attach that to the in the work experience. You just search for the new business page that you've created. And if you want to know more about business pages and LinkedIn newsletters, that's easy. Just watch our show from last week where we kind of dove into that. So let's see here. What else do you want to look at here, or do you want me to find somebody else?
Let's see if we can do one more, David.
All
I know
right.
we're at the 30-minute mark.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let me stop sharing just for a second.
Also, David, love the merch. Love the team shirt over there.
My wife bought me this for, was it Christmas or my birthday? Now I don't remember. But yeah, no, hey, gotta represent, right? I was at a doctor's appointment a couple weeks ago, and they go, "That must be your own business. What do you do?" And we stroked up a conversation there, and then I helped their son with their resume and their career, getting their career kicked off right out of college. So hey, it pays to advertise, right? All right. All right. So, banner. Now, Katie, I am all for people, choosing whatever they want to put here, but I really like seeing the banner used to help promote us and what we do. Now, on other social media, or if you want to post about it, then so be it. But here we can really help people better understand, what we do for a living. All right, Pete. Let me just mention this real quick first. Katie, now I'm not a stickler for rules, but it does go against LinkedIn's terms of service to have emojis in the name section. Now, I've known people that have gotten their account suspended or got a little slap on the wrist from LinkedIn saying, "Hey, don't do that." Although I still see plenty of people having it there. So I don't know what rhyme or reason LinkedIn does to find those or whatnot. But I say if you want to use some emojis in the headline, as long as they're not emoji to death. But I would just be cautious on using those emojis in your name. Oh, did I lose Pete? I lost Pete. We'll see if Pete comes back. But for now, Katie, is there something? Um, let's see. And Katie says, roast me like a marshmallow. And I will. Katie, is there something you want me to look at your profile with? And I'm going to keep going. I know we're over, but I'm going to keep going. So Pete, if you can make it back, great. If you can't, then, don't worry about it. But Katie, is there anything that you want me to look at your profile? If not, I'm just going to keep going. U.S. Navy veteran, thank you for your service. Motto icon. So really depends on how you want to leverage LinkedIn. Are you, looking for a job? Are you just here to post? And whoops, did I get, oh, here we go. Welcome back, Pete.
Sorry about that. Didn't plan for that.
No worries. We were just, I messaged Kate and Katie just said, just message or roast whatever there. So we were talking about the emojis going against LinkedIn's terms of service in the name portion. You can actually get a little slap on the wrist from LinkedIn. I've known some people that have gotten suspended on LinkedIn. So just use that with caution.
Wow. Why is that? I never knew that rule before.
Yes, I've known several people that have that LinkedIn told them, listen, don't do that. Goes against their terms of service or whatever, because that's like not your name. Obviously, if you're, well, I know Prince isn't on this earth anymore, but when Prince turned to his name into a symbol, I wonder if Prince had a LinkedIn profile, if they would have allowed it. But
what about a peach and a ram, right? Peach shrimp, say it fast. That is how to say it. Jeez, I'm gonna have to talk to LinkedIn about this.
That's funny, but no, it in the name portion, it does go against LinkedIn terms of service to have anything in there. So I just say, just be careful. That's all.
Okay, interesting. So I see this. I see the LinkedIn in the top right. So I'm wondering on your banner here, Katie, if you work at LinkedIn, or maybe you really love LinkedIn. I am for equity, because equity starts with everyone. Okay, I see what's going on here. I see some of the different cultures and different backgrounds of people. I see Hispanic, Asian, maybe that's Pacific Islander, Alaska Native. Okay, interesting. US, and I see a couple of emojis here in the about. I see the audio piece on there, U.S. Navy veteran, well-rounded, what does that say? Polymuth. Mom of four. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I will find a way. I can resonate with the TSSCI. Understand what that is, right? Sharing the background. We'll have to chat on some Navy stories soon, Katie. Have some interesting things coming up soon. So that's kind of what I see. UMD grad, okay. And then also, down from Florida. Okay, so Maryland was in the Fort Lauderdale area. You're not too far away. Let's see, no hashtags on here. Oh, there's one. Okay. I think there's room for a couple more on that personal website that leads out, or that link, what that might be. So I can see a couple of other pieces on there.
Yeah. And again, everybody uses LinkedIn differently. So the advice that we're giving you, I mean, you take it or whatever, because again, if it's more social for you, then you just do whatever you want. We're just sharing that, we want to make it super easy for somebody to come into your profile within the first 5 or 7 seconds. Can they better understand, why you're here or what you do? So let's look at it maybe a little bit different of a section now.
Oh, Kilo Tango KT. I like it. Yeah.
Some people do put a career break. Now, I'm somebody that writes an awful lot of resumes, helps job seekers, and they get told they need to put, they're in a career break, or they were laid off or whatever. Being unemployed for 6-9 months is not that big of a deal anymore, and companies don't care as much. Now, if you've been off for a couple of years and you want to put something there, that's fine. Now, if you're currently employed, but you didn't work, 4 years ago for an extended period of time, you don't need to draw attention to that. You don't. It was in the past. So it's up to you. But if you've only been unemployed for 3 months, there's really not a huge need, or there's no lights flashing and saying, stay away from this person because they haven't been employed. Don't think that you need to explain it on a cover letter, because it does take people a long time to find jobs. Plus, companies know people, leave for whatever reason. Maybe they're moving or taking care of uh, a relative or whatnot. So you don't necessarily have to draw attention to being unemployed, especially if the duration isn't very long.
So, question, David, had a conversation with John about this earlier today. Would you suggest adding the open to work piece kind of on your picture at the top?
Sure.
And also, would you suggest to say, hey, I was working at, Boeing, right? Or Microsoft, and then I got laid off. Should I stay as working up until present, even if I, am no longer there as of 2 months ago, perhaps? Or do I want to say, like we saw earlier, right? No current position, or the job break, or maybe you create a new something which is open to work and searching for work, this kind of a position, get a little bit creative with it. What's your take on some of the things to show and some of the updates to make on there?
Sure. I really take it on a case by case basis, depending on, what somebody's doing on LinkedIn. If they're unemployed, but they're really not looking, and nor they care about getting a job anytime soon, then don't put open to work on. Open to work on, really does. I mean, it does tell recruiters, hiring managers that you're, obviously looking, but recruiters are going to reach out to you anyway. Now, it can let friends and other people know that you're looking, and maybe they can help out, a little bit, because maybe they didn't know until they, saw it on your banner, or on your profile photo there. So I really take it on a case by case basis. I don't think that there's one thing that covers it all. I think it just really does truly depend on what you're doing. But if you were, um, I say, if you were just recently, let's say we were laid off in July, well, don't update your LinkedIn profile and tell people that you're now unemployed. Now, on a resume, that you should, and obviously you could speak to it. You could tell somebody that, hey, I forgot to change it on my LinkedIn profile. So, now if it's been 3 years, since you worked at, Boeing, and then, hey, you might want to change that finally, right? When you were actually, laid off, or whatever the reason. So it should be really more of a case by case basis, depending on your strategy and what you're doing. So I don't think there's just a blanket, statement that I can really share, Pete.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think whatever you're trying to convey, make it super simple for whatever that goal is, right? People are
100.
going to come here and they're going to spend those, 3 to 7 seconds. Well, we should probably figure out what the average time on profile above the fold for initial take is. I'd be curious about that. But people appreciate whenever they don't have to search, and it's really clear, like, hey, what do you do? What are you looking for? And if this is a good fit for me, should I continue reading and looking for some more here? So I think those are all helpful pieces indeed.
Yeah, and Patricia, our former roastee, says, I feel like the open to work is just as tricky as posting about a career break. It could be. I see way too many people using it, and they're still employed. Now, maybe if it's a contract job, I get having open to work. Or maybe you do know that you're getting laid off in 3 weeks, then yes. But I see so many people, Pete, put the open to work on, and they're happy in their job. They just
Mm-hmm.
are, they want to let other people know that they're welcome, they're welcoming, like, other opportunities if the right one comes. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing that and then my boss asking me why I have that on. But I mean, not every boss is gonna, see that or whatnot. So, Patricia, it
Yeah,
is
that's an interesting one for sure. And I think just kind of play the devil's advocate and think if you were on the other side, right? Your HR business partner, your CEO, your boss, your team members, right? And they saw open to work. how would you reply to that? And if you have a good answer, then that's perfectly fine. David, one of the other questions I wanted to ask is, if I
Sure.
am indeed open to work and I'm looking for some kind of a specific position, what kind of content should or could I be posting and reposting, on LinkedIn? And this, again, conversation I had with John earlier today. Maybe there's one or two reposts of things that align with my brand. Maybe you start some educational work, and then maybe you share just an update of the journey. People love following along with progress stories and kind of the what's happening, right? Hey, I had conversations with these companies, and this is what I'm searching for. And there's no reason, if you are indeed looking for a job, how in the world are these almost 1 billion people around the globe going to know what you're looking for if you don't make it super clear, right? Again, our job with this is to let others know, hey, is it worth it? Should I be spending my time here? Should I be spending more time here? Right? Those kinds of pieces.
Sure. Okay. Let's go to the like, what should you post? So let's talk about, share your industry tips, advice, share your knowledge. I mean, you could write an article, you write a post just about a certain tip of your industry. You could reshare just a post that you saw about a business, a company posted on LinkedIn. Just reshare it because it's something regarding your industry. But share your insights, your tips. I know for me, I'm constantly sharing resume tips, LinkedIn tips, interview tips. Why? Well, people love it. People want to learn things to help. So again, share your expertise. And Pete, what you had mentioned, share your struggles. Man, I just applied for my 100th job in the last 3 weeks, and I get like zero. I'm getting just the rejection emails. Maybe, people will see that. Maybe I would see that and say, well, hey, wait a minute. Have you tried this? And, share something with you. So yes, share your successes, share your troubles though. When job seekers can unite by sharing tips and what's working and what isn't, everybody wins, and it makes us feel good too. So there's so much more that you can share, but just share. Don't worry about if your post maybe you thought about, maybe you didn't write it properly. You know what, don't worry about that. The next post, just learn and improve on it. But share from
and
the
test new things, right? And same thing goes for that open to work on your picture. Maybe try it for 2 weeks and see what happens. Put it up, pull it down. Maybe change the status at your company, right? Try it for 2 weeks, time box it, see, are you is there a change in what's happening? And I think just the changes to your overall profile will kick towards the algorithm and cause certain other people to see updates and new happenings. But what's the worst that happens, right? If you don't change it, okay. If you do change it, okay, you can always change it back, right? So a couple other things to think about.
Yeah, no, and what Gail, has to say, again, sharing the struggles help others hang in there. I mean, yeah, I share my experience of being, I was fired on my honeymoon the day after my wedding, and I share, I can laugh now, but I share that because it was a struggle, but how I worked through that and learned some things about job seeking right after that. But again, somebody's going to resonate, with you. And I know Marilyn had mentioned that it's tough to be vulnerable in public like that. Well, I mean, you don't have to share, everything, right? But if somebody learned something or somebody is grateful for that, then maybe it doesn't feel as maybe as tough. And obviously you can share as little or as much as you want, but share those tips. And Marilyn, you gotta share with us, like, the color, on your back, behind your photo, and that's just perfect. So, that's must be some marketing that you have there, because you did a really good job of branding yourself. Just, a couple little tips in the headline, like we had mentioned. So let's see. Oh, Timothy says participate in a posting challenge, and I just finished my 20-day challenge with my group of posting every day, and Timothy was a part of that a few times ago. But yeah, job seekers, man, get together, unite, help each other. A lot of you aren't competing for the same jobs. So, sharing best practices really helps uplift each other. And when one person has some success, share what that success is. Maybe that's interview tips or whatnot. But LinkedIn, Pete, this. LinkedIn's such a giving community, isn't it?
It can be, and I think sometimes the more you engage and the more you build up others, then the more likely they're able to say like, oh yeah, I'd do this. One thing that's been interesting is if you know a couple of other job seekers, what if you say, hey, can I do a post just kind of highlighting what you're all about and what you're doing? That's kind of another fun way to do some brand awareness and marketing of others. So interesting concept if anybody wants to try it on for size.
Yeah, and Muhammad says, whether employed or not, one should still be doing personal branding. A career doesn't just stop when one doesn't have a job or some work. Posting about hobbies and activities, which might be informational and positive content, can be made in personal branding. Oh, I mean, I share, and I know Pete does, I share things unrelated to what I do for a living all the time. Why? That's how we build rapport with people. It doesn't always have to be about, for me, helping job seekers or whatnot. It can be just, me at the gym or me walking my dogs or whatever. So feel free to, LinkedIn doesn't have to be this boring business platform that a lot of people think it is.
Have fun with it. Yeah, I remember posting the video about making hot pepper jelly last year.
Well, sure. And then for dessert after that, it's zucchini bread, right?
Which some was made this weekend, and there were apricots in the zucchini bread. Very, very healthy. No butter, actually.
No butter. Okay.
Bananas instead of butter.
Yeah. Okay. Can I put butter on my zucchini bread afterwards, though?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I won't.
Okay. All right. That's like a must for me. That's a must for me. Marilyn says, great suggestion on finding a buddy, or a colleague, and feature each other, especially if you're, even if you're not job seeking, just sharing, sharing on LinkedIn. Pete and I witness this daily. And yes, it's not always about promoting yourself. It's about promoting others as well too. So, Pete, what are we going to do for week 9? And because we only got one more week after that.
Yeah, I'd love to share your story about the career map, right? And talk about, hey, where you been, where you are, where you want to go in the future. And we kind of did the elevator pitches in the past, talking about what we're all about. But I think this would be a really interesting one to understand some of those career trajectories. And it's a piece that I'm building out in the book a little bit more as well. So always looking to learn from others, but really bring this community together. And so if you think you have like a 1-minute story, hey, I did this, which fed into this, and think about the couple of different quadrants on your career map, right? What were the positions? What were the skills and tools? What were the accomplishments, the educations, and the certs? And there's also a way to kind of work backwards. And so you can think of a career map as bottoms up or top down, right? Of where you've been and also from where you want to go. And that's where the personal board of advisors comes from, is helping, build some of that career map up over time. What do you think about that, David?
That's perfect. Are we going to do an audio event?
Yeah, I think we should do an audio, bring people up on the stage, and we'll try and highlight, 10 different people to share their career maps. And I think to, start off, we'll talk a little bit about yours, talk a little bit about mine, and we'll talk a lot about those transferable skills and some of the options in the future, how, change is the only thing that's for certain. And we don't necessarily know where we're going to wind up, but having a couple of like, well, I could do this or this or this or this, and how that feeds into the next this or this or this on the other side. So, yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. Now, everybody attending today will get entered to win my one-on-one coaching that we'll give away on week 10. There's nothing you need to do. My VA will make sure that everybody here gets entered in to win. So if you want another entry, that's easy. show up to our audio event. I'll create that tomorrow morning. I'll create a post. So make sure to follow Pete and I so you can see that post and join us for that audio event. We'll bring some people on the stage and have a good time. So Pete, I guess that's it for week 8.
Until next time, everybody, stay cool, stay happy, and keep on growing together. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you.